welcome to a brand new video. I'm Disventure Camp, and today we're going to be doing the Disventure Camp All-Stars predictions. So before we begin, a few things to note. First off, all background footage is owned by Unknown Cartoons and is not owned by me specifically. It's going to be the pilot Disventure Camp All-Stars episode, which was amazing. I just need to point that out. Also, just want to give a quick thank you all so much for the support. This is the 1,300 subscriber special. In the original predictions video where I predicted the cast, I predicted most of it. A few of them I got wrong, but still, it's been an insane growth since then, and just thank you all so much. Also, do note, I have 2 episodes to base this on, so if a lot of this turns out to be incorrect later on, given the fact there is 21 episodes, I hope it is understandable, but I do have decent confidence in these predictions as well. Per character, we're going to be giving 3 reasons on why they are eliminated then specifically. Also, do note, there's not really going to be sections this video. If you are a regular viewer, which if you are, welcome back. I usually do sections in my videos to keep it more organized, but this specific video, we're just going to be doing the introduction, just the placements, and then the ending of the video with some analysis in between. You'll see, it's a lot more laid back compared to what I usually do. But yeah, alrighty, let's just get right into this.
Is this legal?
That's a child.
And that's an ugly pimple.
Before we really dive into the placement predictions, I just want to quickly tell you guys this. I personally think that there's going to be 2 comebacks this season. So I think James got 20th place. Now, why would I think 2 comebacks? Well, first off, it was confirmed by a creator on Twitter/X that there is going to be a completely dedicated comeback episode. Why on earth would we dedicate an entire episode if there's only 1 person coming back? Not only that, I feel like it makes a lot more sense if 2 people return, especially given the fact that I think pre-merge is going to be lasting with like 10 people. Pre-merge is going to have 10 people eliminated, and merge is going to have 8 people with 2 people returning, making merge have 10 people. I hope that makes some sense. Anyways, let's go into who I think is going to get second boot, which let's firstly analyze who I don't think is getting the boot here. First off, with Cyan Team, I think Cyan Team's immediately immune / Blue Team. Just so you guys know, I probably will confuse those 2 up a lot because my brain cannot wrap my head around these quote-unquote complicated team names. But anyway, Tom and Aiden need to make Jake jealous, and they need to develop their friendship. And also, there is no way Aiden is going out right after James. There is just no way, unless Jake pulls a villain arc. Anyways, Ellie and Gabby I also don't think are going it near Tess, because I think they need to develop their friendship, and also I need more Ellie and Gabby. And Lake is Lake, and she needs to have some screen time with Tess. That first episode interaction, like, I don't know. Anyways, Pink Team is also, I think, is going to be immune because Hunter and Ally need to have more build-up while fighting, because clearly this will never end. Jake can't go out yet for obvious reasons. He just got James out. We can't pull a he's going to go out next. And then Ashley has too much potential. If she is sent home second boot, I will be so mad. Anyway, Fiore is the literal drama icon. If she literally goes right out after Alex saved her, I think that makes no sense. So I think Yellow Team is going to lose. I don't think You'll Regret can go because they have way too much couple potential. They have too much potential as individual characters, and Yule just needs to become his main antagonist as he always deserved to become. Also, Rhea cannot go yet because she's got a redemption arc, and we need to see her and Connor interact. I don't like that ship, but if you do, go with you. Maybe I can be convinced, but anyway, if you brought Connor back over everyone else and you boot him second, there was no point in bringing him back. Anyway, Alec has to still make up with Fiore and just his life, and that leaves our season 1 winner, Miriam. Alright, so I think Miriam is going to be the second boot. Remember that it stated the early boots would be heartbreaking. That was another tweet by one of the creators. And who would be more heartbreaking than Miriam, and especially if she goes like a medical evacuation, because there's been like 7 times this has been foreshadowed. That is an insane number. Insane. Plus, booting Miriam can make Jake's only voice of reason, well, one of his voices of reason, just go and make Jake angry, meaning more drama. And Miriam now has this, like, spying on Alec arc. She can finish that in 1 episode. There is no need for her to continue just spying on Alec, like, she can do it for 1 episode, it's done. I feel like that she'll get medically, this is so dark, I think she'll get medically evacuated more so than she will get voted out, but even if it was a regular regular vote, she's screwed too, because You'll Regret's gonna vote together. I'm sure they're gonna form some antagonist power alliance, and Miriam is just making enemies with Yule. Not a smart idea, but whatever. So I do think that Miriam is going to be the second boot. Moving on to the third boot. I think Pink's team is also going to be immune again, because Hunter and Allie can come to their climax here. They can just continue to fight. I just want this arc done and over with, because I don't want to watch them fight every episode, known to man. Anyway, Jake and Ashley can bond. Jake's got to get more jealous of Aiden and Tom for daring interact a bit. Anyway, Fiore survives so she can make it further with Alec, because this feels like a lot more of a slow burn, and they got to take the time to make up Fiore's betrayal, because it was a huge plot twist. Anyway, yellow team is also immune, I think, here. The plot was there. Anyway, Rhea and Connor still got a bond. Fun. You'll regret. Alec needs to fix his friendship with the evil child. So this all takes more episodes' time. Now, I think Cyan team is losing. So Tom and Aiden have to make Jake jealous, and therefore they can't go. Ellie and Gabby are besties, and I think that's already majority lines with Tess. So I think Lake's going. I can already hear it before you guys go and drop your comments. Allow me to explain why I think Lake is not going to make it far and is going to be an earlier boot. Even in my original predictions, I did not think Lake was going to make it that far. And thanks to a few comments, also thanks to my own analytical that I did on a recent poll I saw, I have realized that it's probably going to happen. First off, Jake wants revenge on her, likely. Now, you might be thinking, Alexa, Jake is a fan of Lake. He said it himself. True, but Lake is friends with Aiden. And do you know what Jake did to James for Aiden daring to talk to Tom for 5 seconds? He booted him immediately. He's like, this is some revenge. So I'm sure Jake's jealousy is going to make him pull off another revenge scheme and just get Lake right out of here. It makes a lot of sense. Not only that, she doesn't have an arc. There is only so much interactions with Tess can really bring her, you know what I mean? She doesn't need a huge arc either. She got that in season 2. She doesn't need development. Plus, honestly, Ellie and Gabby, and somehow Gabby getting Tom to join in the vote, can get Jax, and Jake sabotaging can cause Lake to just go bye-bye. And I also do think during this elimination, Tess throws a vote on somebody who's not Lake, which causes Tess, Ellie, and Gabby to fight and bicker, and that causes drama. So, yeah, I think Lake is going out. And plus, this is a point from one of the comments, I'll put it up on screen if I can find it again, but Lake is taking a selfie with the first boot of the season. That is not looking good for Lake at all. And also, remember, heartbreaking eliminations. Lake is probably the most cherished character in this entire fandom. That is what I consider heartbreaking. She is literally my second favorite, and here I am predicting her to be third boot. Anyways, let's move on to who I think is gonna be fourth boot. I think Cyan team is going to be immune, because after booting Lake, I don't think we can sacrifice another on this team. Plus, Aiden and Tom gotta keep on bonding, keep on making Jake jealous. That's never gonna end, is it? Gabby, Ellie, and Tess gotta fight now. And tension. Yellow team I also think is immune, because Rhea and Connor gotta develop. Alex gotta fix his life issues with the child. I know I keep saying this and repeating this, but it's an arc that's gonna take a while. This is not an arc that's gonna be one episode and it's done. No, it needs time, and you'll regret. Probably Gret starting her. Remember, it is confirmed that she is going to have a weight loss arc of sorts. If she hasn't started it already by this point, I think she'd start it now or somewhat. And also we get to see the toxicity, or maybe it's not a toxic relationship. I'll be shocked if You'll Regret ain't a toxic one, but hey, be a nice yet shocking surprise. Anyway, I think Pink team is losing, and I think Hunter and Allie would vote one another now. I think they've broken up, I think they fought enough. This is an arc that you can do a lot quicker than some of the other arcs in the show. Plus, I don't want to be watching this consistently go on episode after episode. So I feel like Jake, Ashley, and Fiore would vote Allie out instead of Hunter, because yeah, Hunter might have yelled at Fiore, but Hunter's a lot stronger in challenges. And I think that'd be the smarter way to go about it. Also, Fiore is like the deciding vote right now, but if Hunter and Allie vote each other, she really has no choice. I think she'd just choose to do that for simplicity. And also, I feel like making Allie the fourth boot from a storyline perspective makes a lot more sense, because right now she has zero personality. I do not want to see Allie somehow float on her way halfway through the season with zero motivation, barely personality. I feel like in these past few episodes, we've got more personality from Allie than I've ever seen, but still, you get my point. And I feel like if all she's gonna do is fight with Hunter, there is no point in keeping her out this long. Also, just booting late, you just booted one of the most important characters, or one of the most beloved characters. So booting somebody who doesn't matter as much to the fandom, I think, is a good way to calm down the late booting scenario. I feel like that's a nice way to calm it down. And again, there is really no need to drag out this Hunter and Allie fighting storyline. So, yeah. Alright, on to who I think is going to get 5th boot. So I do think Pink Team is gonna be immune right after losing Allie. Hunter's gotta just stay and see how he can do without Allie again, because he, again, I think is a more interesting idea to keep in a bit longer. Also, I feel like we need to keep seeing Fiore and Alec make up. Maybe they're starting to get on better terms now. Jake's gotta stay because he's gotta keep on getting jealous. And Ashley's gotta be his voice of reason and continue her rivalry with Fiore. I also do think that Yellow is gonna be immune because You'll Regret's gotta stay. Alex gotta fix his, I know I'm repeating myself, but again, a lot of these arcs are just season long lasting, so I've gotta keep this up. And Connor and Rhea have gotta develop, and I feel like at this point Rhea would be starting to let some of her soft side out, which she does fear, which is shown. She fears her soft side coming out because she is just like, oh no, Connor's on my team. That is because she does not want her good side to come out. She wants this new her, this villainous her to stay. Alright, enough on the Rhea rant. I think Cyan is losing, and I think Ellie's gonna get the majority votes. However, I think that Tom, Aiden, and Tess are going to vote out Ellie, because, again, Ellie would probably be mad, or maybe Gabby, around that. They'd be mad at Tess for betraying, so she fully hands on down that. But I think Gabby is going to sacrifice herself for Ellie, saying, I told you, Ellie and Tom, that fighting would get you nowhere. Look what it's ended up. And then she just sacrifices herself for Ellie, because that is such a Gabby thing to do. Like, she sacrificed for Ellie one season, she can do it again, and I feel like, again, heartbreaking elimination. There is no I know I keep bringing this point up specifically, but there is no reason. If there is just one heartbreaking elimination, there is no reason to tweet that. But there's gotta be a long list of fan favorites just coming out in pre-merge for this to even be an occurrence. Because there is just gotta be an insane elimination order cooking up behind the scenes. But yeah, I do want to see Gabby making it farther. I really do. But what more can she do? Right now, all she has to do is separate Ellie and Tom. And I feel like her leaving will signify them that they have to make up, they have to become friends or something like that. I think that's what this could personally lead to more specifically. And I feel like Gabby going a bit earlier is a lot less predictable because a lot of people are predicting her to make it a lot far, and I really want her to. Like, I want to see Gabby prove me wrong and go very far, but they don't have enough plot. They don't have enough change to make it far. Gabby does not need to have that much of a change, and neither does Lake, because they both got that change in their previous seasons, so there's no reason for them to really stay too long. But I feel like it would make sense for this to be starting maybe Ellie's redemption arc, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe she goes full villain era, but I feel like with Gabby going, Ellie, some knock of sense would come into her, and then she would start redeeming herself because Ellie's gotta have her happy ending. I don't want to see another season 1 where she is just so sad. Just, no. Anyways, the next episode, so I think Cyan team is gonna be immune from all of that. I think Ellie and Tom are gonna start making up somewhat. Ellie and Tess maybe too, because at this point they've burned bridges. And Aiden is just here making Jake more jealous, and Aiden is probably bashing Jake. All of that good stuff, all of that. And I think Yellow team's gonna be immune again. You'll Regret's gotta continue just being whatever it is, the entity. And then we have Connor and Rhea on the sidelines. Rhea's just having her own personal arc, and Alec and Fiore just coming a lot closer to ahead of making up. So I think at this point, Alec would save Fiore again, because if he's willing to do it here, if he's willing to just pull it off before they've really made up at all, he'll probably do it. He'll probably assist, and I think Jake's gonna head home here. I know this is like, what on earth are you saying, Alexa? Jake's gotta be jealous. Well, I feel like at this point, it would just be insane. I think it'd be interesting for him to go out this early. I'm gonna go more into Jake later because, spoiler, I think he'll just get out pre-merge and then just return. So I don't want to go too much into depth on why he'll be eliminated. I don't think it would be heartbreaking per se, because it's like, I mean, maybe if Jake becomes a more likable, but after the stunt he pulled in episode 2, I wish luck to all the Jake fans out there after episode 2. I wish luck. I feel like if Jake not only goes here, it allows Ashley to, well, be separate from Jake and get more development on her own as a character. Aiden and Tom can become closer, so when Jake does eventually return, I'll go more into depth on why I think he's returning later on, but it would give him more reason to be even more jealous, which causes more drama, which is just what the show needs, apparently. We don't need an episode 6 to 7 situation from season 2, know what I'm saying? Anyways, next episode, I think Cyan Team's gonna go for their immunity streak. Ellie and Tom and Ellie and Tess, they all be making up, and she's going on a redemption arc era. She's improving herself as a person. Aiden's just here, just happy that Jake is gone, and also just getting closer with everyone on the team. And they're just all, the drama's just being fixed, all that. I feel like there needs to be more drama, though, on Cyan now, because it's just the wholesome team. Whatever. I also think Yellow Team is gonna pull out an immunity, because we have to keep You'll Regret in game, we gotta keep Connor and Rhea in game, and we gotta keep Alec in game so he can protect Fiore for the millionth time. However, I feel at this point, Alec and Fiore would have made up. Like, maybe if they're on speaking terms, I don't think they'll ever go back to old times, just to be real with you guys. I mean, it's possible, I'm not saying it's out of the deck of cards, but Fiore's betrayal, it just stung so hard for Alec. I feel like they do still care about each other, as proven in episode 2, but I feel like they're gonna get back to speaking terms or something close to it, and I feel like Fiore can just head out here. She somehow survived a few elimination ceremonies. She doesn't need to stay much longer. I feel like her gimmick at this point has also gotten decently old. After, again, the Lake boot, I think it's nice to have, and the Gabby boots, I think it's nice to have a few eliminations that aren't as heartbreaking and more so satisfying, because I feel like Fiore, again, she does not need to do much. She was the main antagonist. Once she can step aside, she can make up with Alec, be happy, and that's all this girl really needs, because I don't think we need to go for a full redemption arc with this child, because I don't think she's changed too much. I think she's the same Fiore, it's just it's been toned down a bit. But anyways, on to the next episode. I think Cyan Team is gonna pull out an immunity, and I think that at this point there's barely any drama on the team there. Ellie is fixing everything, Aiden and Tom are just becoming closer. I refuse to believe Wonkin is happening. I refuse. I don't want to believe it. Look, there is a reason the love triangle is one of the worst parts of World Tour. There is a reason, a rhyme and a reason. Tess is just Tess. I mean, probably just, maybe she's talking with Hunter now. I mean, there's gotta be a way you can sneak off to the other camps. If Gabby managed to do it in season 1, anyone can do it. That's my logic. I feel like, again, I'm not gonna repeat myself anymore, but Yellow Team's immune, and the thing I think different here is that Alec is just gonna continue to compete on for Fiore, and also to fix his life, just to be like, he's made things up with Fiore, and now he can be happy and just try to move on with her, which kind of wholesome, and I feel like at this point, You'll Regret would be into crashing smithereens. Maybe y'all be proven wrong, and it'll be the healthiest couple in the series. That would be kind of funny, though. Like, if it is just the healthiest couple, again, we'll see. And at this point, I think Rhea's going on her, like, maybe she's either going super villainous or she's going super heroic. It's one of the two. There was, like, no in between, I feel. Anyways, I feel like in this specific episode, Hunter is going to go bye-bye, because Ashley versus Hunter, I think Ashley can pull out the win, and I just want to see her being the lone one on Pink Team. We're pulling a team victory here. We're gonna pull that out of the hat. But I feel like there are multiple reasons why Hunter can go here. First off, I think he showed his challenge strategy self enough. There's really no need to keep him in for longer than necessary. At this point, he might have had an independent arc from Allie, who truly does know, but I think it'd be interesting also to see him go here. He doesn't, again, need to make it much farther, because to me, his character is not nearly as interesting or drama creating as some of the other characters still left in the game, so yeah. On to the next episode, which I think we're pulling a Cyan Team is immune, and again, we already know what's happening over there, so we can move on. I think Pink Team, I think Ashley, Ashley can do it. Ashley's got her experience, she's got a challenge. If she can beat out everyone on her team, she can win the challenge on her own with no help. She can do it. I've got the confidence in her. I think Yellow is finally gonna come to its first loss in so long. It gets to lose for the first time in forever. But, I think here Connor is sent home. I think the villains have at this point formed some sort of power alliance, and there is no other choice but to get Connor eliminated, and it is just so interesting to see how Rhea would react to it. Do I think they're gonna become a canon couple? See, I don't want it to happen, but I mean, it might, it could. And that starts Rhea's real redemption arc if she hadn't started already. Or she does the opposite, but the villains always rule the yellow team. That's what we've learned. Alright, on to the next episode where I think yellow wins because villains. Ashley can win because she can do it. She can beat out everyone. Let her just beat out everyone for no reason except that it's Ashley. And I just think it's really cool to let Ashley stay a lot longer. She is one of the few characters who's like, why is she back in All-Stars? So giving her and using that potential that she does have, just peak. And then I feel like Cyan will lose and Ellie will be sent home. At this point, I feel like Ellie would have had a redemption arc of some sort and just been on good terms with most people, so she can just head out now. Somehow, probably it's by a stupid game twist and she's robbed. I feel like her making it this far is realistically as far as she's gonna really make it, because this is all her length of a redemption arc needs to be. She can redeem herself, make good amends with everyone, still be morally gray, and that's all she needs in her character. She just needs to have a happy ending, get some money so she's not broke anymore and she doesn't need to pull off these stupid stunts so she can get rich. Whatever it may take, I think this is all Ellie really needs. And honestly, as the biggest Ellie fan to be found, I would be satisfied. Plus, I think she can go hang out with Gabby in the motel, wherever it may be, because Ellie and Gabby wholesomeness, please don't give them angst, please. So, in the end, this leads to our final merge, which would be Alec, Tom, Yule, Gret, Rhea, Tess, Aiden, and Ashley. I think this really works well as the merge for multiple reasons. First off, we do have a few previous finalists in there, being Rhea and Aiden, a few who didn't really make it too far, like Ashley and Yule, a few who made it to the mid-merge, so the placements are really all over there, and it works well. It's actually evenly divided between not only the gender, but it's also evenly divided between the cast. There is 4 from season 2 being Tess, Aiden, Rhea, and Jewel. The other 4 being Ashley, Gret, Alec, and Tom from season 1. On to the comebacks. So the comebacks, I'm going to be talking about one by one who I think can't come back and why. Ellie, she's finished her arc, and she, in this universe, is the last pre-merge. There is no need for her to return. Same with Connor. He's had his development with Rhea. He's maybe had his own little mini arc if it exists, but still, I don't see there's a need for Hunter or Allie to return. They can fix their own issues in the motel sometime. I don't care enough. Gabby can also just stay. There is no need for her to return to this specific merge cast. She won't bring drama. Ellie's not there, so there's really no interactions from those two. There is really no reason to bring Gabby back here. Fiore, I don't think should return. I mean, obviously she can have a bit more interactions with Alec, but is that all we're gonna bring this child back for? I mean, obviously she can have more of a rivalry with Ashley, but I feel like by the time Fiore has gone in episode 8 in this My Prediction universe, there is really no need to really further this rivalry. There is no need. You can just end it with Ashley getting some revenge or something like that. Again, no need for her to return. She can have her interactions with Alec another day. She's had them for 8 episodes straight. There is no need to bring her back specifically. A lot of people have theorized that James is going to return. I don't see it. Unless we pulling a Gwunkin, which I refuse to believe that we're pulling a Gwunkin this season. I know I keep saying that, but the first thing I thought of when I saw that intro the first time was Gwunkin. But I don't think it's happening for a few simple reasons. First off, you cannot do this. You cannot give them such a happiness. And I don't think Aiden is stupid enough. I mean, he's not the smartest out there, but I don't think he's going to sacrifice everything he's had with James, all they've been through, for Tom, somebody who he just met a few days ago. So I don't think that's going to really happen. I do, again, think it's going to be a huge misunderstanding because, again, Jake's jealous. It's pretty clear he's very, very jealous. I mean, he eliminated James. Just forgot talking. Enough on that. But I don't think he's returning. And the main reason people are saying it is because the Patreons. Now, don't quote me on this. Do not quote me on this. But what I have heard on a few YouTube comments is the fact that James's VA didn't have the time to do the Patreons, so Derek did them. I could be completely wrong, and he might be returning, but I don't see it, and I don't really see the need to make James return. If you're just gonna bring them back to make Aiden and Tom, whatever this is, just be absolute more chaos. There is really no need. Just bring Jake back in this universe. Remember, I said that Jake is probably gonna come back. I'll return to that in a moment, but I feel like Miriam coming back is also just not gonna happen, especially if she gets medically evacuated. I don't think there's a need. She had her happy ending. She does not need to return and stay on this show. And since Jake is not technically in this merge right now, why would she do it? And we know that she's not as strong as before, so logically, how is she gonna win the comeback competition? So that leaves Lake, someone who was robbed, and I feel like Lake makes a lot of sense to return. First off, her getting third boot and not having much interaction with Tess, they can further those interactions if she returns, and her and Tess can talk. First off, also Lake coming back can be Aiden's voice of reason, because Aiden at this point would probably need it, because Jake has removed his 2 voices of reason, and Aiden's probably going insane at this point, so Lake's here to help out all that. It'd also be interesting to see her interactions with a lot more, and plus she can get some revenge on Yule. You know, we just gotta see all that. And I also think that Jake is returning. I feel like at this point he'd have a lot more reason to be jealous of Aiden and Tom, if not already, because they probably continue to be bonding and just be besties, which would be cool to overall see just them becoming wholesome besties. I said besties, I did not say anything more. But like, I think it makes a lot more justification. Plus, I think Jake would be able to win the comeback challenge easily enough. He can just win to talk with Tom, and plus at this point I think him and Tom just need to have a long conversation. They just need that. I don't know when. Just let them have a conversation and they talk everything out, because they really just need that. Speaking of which, if Tom just talked with Jake in this episode too, we would not have any of this. So anyway, when it comes to the comeback episode, I feel like it's gonna be a non-elimination. I don't think there's like 21 episodes. You can just give the comeback episode / the merge episode, which is probably when these comebacks are going to happen. You can do that and just make it a non. I also made sure to put it halfway through the season, because I think it makes sense if the merge is halfway through the season / the comebacks are also halfway through the season. That makes the most sense to me. And we're not going to pull an Outlaster where they have it at Final 6. Survivor, it's but anyway, so I think the person who first gets eliminated in the merge is going to be Alec. So Alec definitely could go on without Fiore, yeah, but I feel like at this point he would have made up enough with Fiore to where he's happy, he's made it far enough for his older placement, and plus it would have probably given enough that he's made it this far. He's done enough. And again, see, I think at this point he'd be happy enough. Maybe he won't win the money, but at least he's got Fiore. It's all he as a character really needs. I feel like next to go in the merge would be Aiden specifically. I feel like Aiden going now makes a lot of sense given his previous placement. I feel like Aiden also has just not gotta go so Jake and Tom can talk it out and them just be somewhat on good terms and just fix all this. And I also feel like Aiden at this point would have done all he could and made it as far as he could. I hope that we get to see a lot more of Aiden's like backstory, maybe a bit more of his personality, because he is just so bland. Y'all know, if you've seen this channel before, you know I will automatically prefer the complex over the bland. So there is a reason Dan and Allie are not that high on my list, just gotta point that out. But I feel like at this point he can go hang out with James in the motel and just be happy with him for a while, whatever it takes. Yeah, again, I really do hope he does more than make Jake jealous or have a rivalry with Jake, or just is involved with something that besides love drama or whatever this is. He can do more than that, right? Anyway, next, she might just come back, but she can go again. It's Lake. Again, as I stated earlier, Lake really doesn't have much story potential, but I feel like bringing her back will make all the Lake fans happy, including me. But another thing I feel like would occur is that she can again help fix up whatever Jake and Tom have. She can interact a bit more with Tess, because needed, likely. She can just be a really good character for those few episodes, give a bit of plot and push some arcs along, and then she can just go again. How she would get out? Probably some bullcrap twist, because, you know, this show, that's probably the only way Lake can get out. But still, I feel like it'd be entertaining if Lake also just got revenge on Yule, and then Yule got revenge on her a few episodes later. That solidifies more of Yule's main antagonist era, so I think that works. Speaking of which, I think the next character to be going would be Jake in this merge cast. I feel like at this point, Jake would have talked it out with Tom, and I really do hope that during the season, we really get to dive more into Jake's character. Learn a bit more about him that isn't too much of his backstory. We we get so many good Jake moments sometimes. Like in episode 1 of Disventure Camp All-Stars, I was definitely harsh and he was decently good in that episode. And then the very next episode, he's just whatever. We're not gonna dive into a rant on that, but I think it'd be really great if we just dived in and learned a lot more about Jake as a character. That would serve him so well. And maybe the Jake hate will finally die down, because the second it did, episode 2 of Disventure Camp All-Stars aired, and it is just, I've never seen so much hate towards the character in a while. So again, the Jake fans, I wish you luck. But again, other than Tom, there's really not much in him. Again, we learn a lot more of his character. There's really not much more to keep him in for, so we can just move on. And I feel like the next character to go at this point would be Gret. Gret is a character I did not originally predict to make it into the season, but I'm honestly happy she did, and she's also one who the most potential in the cast. And I can honestly easily see her as a finalist, given the fact that it is confirmed that she's going to have a weight loss arc, which I think will be interesting, and I am excited to see the direction it is taken in the season. Again, I think it's very interesting that Disventure Camp handles a bit more of mature topics, and that is why I do just enjoy the seasons a bit more at times. But still, I feel like her going out here works a lot better, though. Like, if she just gets her revenge on Yule, maybe it's, again, a wholesome relationship. That'd be interesting, again, to see. There's really not much more Gret needs to do. She can form, she can have a redemption arc, and that can happen during a 17-episode time span. I also feel like during this time, Gret would become an even more enjoyable character, because the reason I really started liking and warming up to Gret's character was some of the ending episodes after the swap. So I do, since she's on a more villainous team, I also want to see her interact a lot more with the villains, because just a lot more villain interactions is always great, and I do think it will occur. Maybe Gret and Rhea interact. Ooh, I want to see that now. But I do think it'd be interesting to see, and seeing her go here would work. It really wouldn't be too much of a heartbreaking elimination. I think she would go out with her head high like she did in season 1. Maybe it won't be as iconic, but then again, it's hard to match her elimination in season 1. Easily one of the highlights. It was just like, it's just great where her character goes overall, but I feel like her going far is a huge given. And also I feel like it makes sense in context here that she would get voted off here, given the fact she was a more antagonistic role. But maybe again, I want to see a redemption arc from Gret so badly, and I really hope we're getting that this season, but we'll see. She is with Yule after all. But anyway, Rhea is the next one I think to go in episode 18. Remember, it was confirmed that there's a motel episode, so I feel like we're gonna go for a Final 5 robbed-esque era. Please, let's not pull Lashana, though. I don't want to see that happen. But still, I feel like it would make a lot of sense in context for Rhea to firstly get voted off here. Like, if Yule's immune, Yule would have to be immune, though. Like, there is no way Yule is surviving a vote unless he is immune, because everyone hates Yule unless you're Gret. That's the real truth here. But I feel like Rhea would also have a redemption arc, and I think she'll be one of the most interesting characters, if not already, because I do really like the draw of her character just being, she wants to be good, but she can't be good because she's got to keep up that persona. Interesting. I like that complexity, and I feel like in 18 episodes, you can give her a nice redemption arc that's nicely paced, give her her arc, make her interesting again, and make her realize the fame and fortune really isn't it all. Maybe she can even continue to be an actress after, maybe not in her villainous persona, but maybe turned good. That'd be interesting to see, maybe. But I do think Rhea going here worked well for her character. She's finished all her plots, there's no need for her to really stay more, and I don't think she needs to become a finalist again. There is really no need. She can still make it far, be happy, and there's no need for her to get the money. Have you seen that first coat? She is rich as all heck. Anyway, 4th, it was really hard for me to decide, so I didn't. So I feel like either Tom or Tess is gonna go here, and I'm gonna go over who may go at what point, like, basically diving in. I feel like Tess at this point would have gotten some nice character development because she could get some here. A lot more interesting interactions, I feel, would lean a lot more towards her than her as a character, because she did just, we can develop more on her becoming just happier overall from her depression in season 2. That's an interesting direction to take. Maybe they'll take it. I don't know. But I also feel at this point, Tom is such a main character because he's dealt with Jake. He probably would have had he fixed the Ellie conflict. He's probably having an extra arc somewhere in there about personal growth and all of that. Interesting to see, and I feel like either could end here. I personally would like to see Tom in the finale over Tess. Like, I think Tess is great as a character. character and would be great to see in the finalist role, but does she really need the money? No, but then again, Tom doesn't either, but I feel like it makes a lot more sense if Tom goes, but I don't think he'll win specifically, given the fact that, again, I feel like Miriam and Tom were a bit, quote-unquote, too close of people to really give Tom the win he does deserve. But, we'll see. I think either could go here, though. Moving on to the finalists. So, we have Yule, which, of course, Yule's gonna make finals. I could be so wrong here, given the fact it's Yule of all people. He'll need unlimited plum armor to make it far, but I would love to see Yule make it far. Y'all know, if you've seen my channel before, y'all know me. I have the unpopular opinion of thinking Yule is a great character, and I want to see him more. So letting him get 21 episodes? Oh my gosh, yes. And I also feel like it makes sense of him being the biggest threat to take down in the very end, because we need an antagonist in the final 3, and Yule works perfect as one. So I'm doing final 3 here, by the way, because they've done final 3 for 2 seasons in a row. It's fair enough to go for final 3 again. I also feel like Ashley would be in the finals because it's Ashley. Like, you have brought back her, and she works so well as a winner too. She has all the qualities necessary to become a winner. She's liked by the fandom, maybe a little too much, but I feel like this season can give her the potential she deserves, work everything out, and just make her overall a great character. And I think she does need the money. After they destroyed her farm, like, they crashed her fence and just destroyed it for whatever reason. You could have landed, right? Don't have to pay some damage. Whatever, we're not going on a rant over that. But I feel like Ashley making finale makes a lot of sense given her character. She's well liked. She makes a lot of sense for her to make finale too. Just overall would be a great winner too. And whoever, if Tom or Tess makes it, I don't care. I do want Tom to make it more so I'm just gonna assume Tom makes it. And as noticed here, I did one from each team of 6. I think that makes the overall most sense, and it's also balanced. I feel like in this universe, Ashley would win, and I think Ashley being my winner prediction works well. I originally predicted her to make the finals in my original prediction video, so I'm sticking by that. But I also feel like Tom, Tess could also win. Yule's not winning. I want him to win because I think it'd be so funny just to see the reactions of everyone. Oh my gosh, the chaos. It'd be entertaining. I also feel like a lot of these characters make a lot more sense over other characters to make it to the finals. I could go into a huge in-depth winner analysis one day if y'all want that. But for now, this video is way too long already. So we're just gonna move on to the conclusion of the video.
My only mistake was choosing Connor as a helper in the final.
Gas!
So, what are your personal predictions on what will happen to Disventure Camp All-Stars, the placements, all that? What do you think? I would love to hear it in the comments down below, and I also do find it kind of funny that this entire video can be proven wrong just by a trailer. But anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone!